I'm Dominic Kuska, and it's been really a pleasure working with your children. Obviously, I love theater, otherwise I wouldn't be standing up here. Theater is a great thing because it teaches us about language, it teaches us about imagination. When you're playing other characters, you empathize, so you're learning about empathy. There are many, many good human qualities that theater expands within us. But it also teaches us very practical things like how to collaborate, how to focus, how to plan, and knowing that a lot of repetitious work gets us to a result, which comes in handy for schoolwork, I think. Anyway, thanks for coming, and without further ado, enjoy the show. The land was torn and bleeding, but the deepest wounds of all were made by friends turned traitor to fight against Duncan, their king. Nothing was as it seemed. News was brought to the king that Macbeth had been victorious over the rebels, but it did not cheer the king, for among the captured traitors was a lord who had once been Duncan's friend. King Duncan speaks to a messenger.
He was a gentleman in whom I build absolute trust. Go pronounce Cardinal's present death, and with his form head of Grade MacBeth. What he has lost, noble Macbeth has won.
We hear a drum sound. Macbeth, Banquo, and Banquo's son Fleance arrive. They're making their way home across a moor. But the witches are about to stop them and make some very strange predictions. Macbeth says,
"So fell and fair a day I have not seen." These so withered and so wild, full of knowledge and happiness of the earth. Speak if you can what you are! A hail Macbeth, a hail to thee. A hail Macbeth, who shall be king hereafter. If you can look into the seeds of time, I say which green will grow, and which will not speak against me. Last year the father of kings shall thou be thine. A hail Macbeth and Banquo! You shall be kings, or children shall be kings. Whither are they vanished?
a messenger from the king arrives and speaks to Macbeth. The messenger says to Macbeth, Macbeth, you're looking at the messenger right now. All right, we're just going to stop for 2 seconds while this young lady is retrieved from the stage. Okay. Okay. You sit there. You can sit there. All right. So, Macbeth is amazed that one of the witch's predictions has come true and speeds on home to his wife, Lady Macbeth. Macbeth tells his wife about the witches and how they predicted he would be king. It so happens that Duncan will visit Macbeth's castle.
My dearest love, Bunny, come here tonight. Tonight, and when goes heaven? Tomorrow. Oh, never shall Duncan tomorrow see. Evil the rest of me.
Lady Macbeth starts to think about killing Duncan. King Duncan arrives at Macbeth's castle with his sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, and announces who will be the next king.
We will establish our sleep on our
that news except Macbeth. This maddens Macbeth. After some food and entertainment, Duncan goes to bed. That night, Lady Macbeth puts her plan into action. She persuades her husband to kill the king. She then goes off to drug the wine of the two grooms who guard the king's room. But Macbeth begins to have second doubts. Macbeth is on his way to kill the king. He is very nervous and begins to see things.
Is this a dagger? Was anything before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let's see. I go in and it is done. Don't go.
Macbeth goes off to kill the king. He smears the sleeping grooms with blood so it will look as if they had killed King Duncan. Macbeth places the dagger by their side and leaves. Early next morning, the cock crows. Excellent. The noble Macduff arrives at the castle and asks Macbeth,
Is the peace serving work in vain? Not yet. He did command me to call timely on her.
Macduff goes off to the bedroom where the king is asleep. To his amazement, he finds him dead. He awakens all the castle with his shouting,
Awake! Awake! Raise the alarm bell!
Macbeth pretends to be surprised. He blames the grooms for the murder and kills them before they can defend themselves. The king's two sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, look fearfully at one another. Their father had been murdered. Were they next?
Yonder daggers in next mile. This murder shafts that trap us not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid aid. Therefore, to horse.
Malcolm and Donalbain flee the country. Now that King Duncan is dead, Macbeth becomes king. He is crowned, and he is very happy to find himself. He's very happy to find himself the king. But he realizes that Banquo suspects him of Duncan's murder and recalls the witch's prophecy that Banquo's children would become king.
To be dead is nothing but to be thinking of. Our first and may go thick deep.
Macbeth arranges for some thugs to attack Banquo and his son Fleance. Fleance says,
Thou shalt hear villain! Oh, treachery! Fly, Leon, fly, fly, fly!
Banquo is killed by one of the thugs, but Fleance escapes. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Macbeth is at dinner with his wife and other lords and ladies. They are all having a wonderful time. They are sipping drinks. They are eating hors d'oeuvres. They are eating hors d'oeuvres. Macbeth is particularly happy. During the dinner, Macbeth and no one else sees the bloody ghost of Banquo, which rises up.
Which of you has done this? What, my lord? What? Thou canst say I did. Never seek your glory left at me. Gentlemen, rise. Avaunt, quickly, strike. Let the earth hide thee.
Lady Macbeth says,
I pray you stand not upon the orders of your going to go out once.
good night, and better health attend his majesty. The parting, the gathering parts in chaos.
I look tomorrow to the weird citizen. More shall they speak. I am yet to know the word.
Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth is walking in her sleep every night, dreaming that she is washing blood from her hands. She is racked with guilt over killing King Duncan and is losing her sanity. A doctor says,
What at any time that you heard her say? That's good. Let me put that there. You made to be in this most neat you should. No, here she comes. Out I say, who would have ever thought the old king had so much blood in him? To bed. He knew that. Let she go to bed now? Directly. Babble, whispering are abroad. Unnatural deeds do bring unnatural troubles.
Meanwhile, Macduff has assembled an army to help Malcolm and Donalbain attack and overthrow Macbeth. Malcolm asks his brother Donalbain,
What wood is this before us? The wood of Burnham. Let every soldier hew him down a branch and bear it before him.
To camouflage themselves, his soldiers hold branches from the trees of Burnham Wood in front of themselves as they march on Macbeth's castle. Macbeth is told of this by a servant.
My God, I know my dog, so what began to move? Lightning, slay! Turn! I bear charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. The spirit they charm, myself was fond of mother wolf, our timely rip. I would like you to kiss the ground before your mother's feet. Lay on me, duck.
Macduff and Macbeth grab their swords and fight it out. Finally, Macduff slays Macbeth. The murderous Macbeth and his fiend-like queen are dead. At last, the darkness is lifted from Scotland. Duncan's son, Malcolm, is now proclaimed the king, and the crown moves from Macbeth to the head of Malcolm. He is proclaimed the King of Scotland. Macduff says,